Hey everyone, Al Roker here. I'm so glad you could join me as we turn our attention to one of the most fascinating, and sometimes unpredictable, times of the year: winter. As the leaves turn and the air gets crisp, winter's on our minds. There's something magical about this seasonal shift. Pumpkin spice lattes, cozy sweaters, and the anticipation of what's to come. Every year, people everywhere start to wonder, will it be a mild winter, or are we in for a monster storm season? Will we be shoveling out our driveways every morning, or will the snow barely dust the ground? Should I dust off the heavy coat, or will a light jacket do? Do I need to stock up on salt and shovels, or can I leave them in the garage for another year? And of course, the big question on everyone's mind, will we get a white Christmas? There's nothing quite like waking up to a blanket of snow on the holidays, is there? These questions aren't just small talk. They shape how we plan our holidays, travel to see loved ones, and prepare our homes for the season ahead. From booking flights to planning road trips, winter weather is always a factor. Farmers, city officials, and families all depend on knowing what's coming. A big storm can mean a day off school, a tough commute, or a crucial decision for crops and livestock. Long before satellites and Doppler radar, people turned to nature, the stars, and most famously, the almanacs for guidance. These traditions connected us to the rhythms of the earth and sky. For centuries, these books have predicted the weather using secret formulas, folklore, and generations of observation. They became trusted companions for farmers and families alike. Even with all our modern technology, apps, satellites, and instant updates, it's still fascinating to see what these classic guides have to say. There's a certain charm in comparing old wisdom with new science. Today, we're diving into the winter forecasts for 2025 to 2026. What do the experts and the almanacs predict for the months ahead? The two heavyweights in the world of long-range weather prediction, the Old Farmers Almanac and the Farmers Almanac. Each has its own methods, secrets, and loyal followers, and every year people eagerly await their forecasts to see what's in store. They don't always agree, and that's where things get interesting. Sometimes their predictions line up, but other times, they couldn't be more different. We'll break down their predictions, see where they match up, and where they clash. We'll also explore what might be behind their differences, and what it could mean for you. So grab a warm drink, settle in by the window, and let's see what kind of winter could be heading your way. Whether you're hoping for snow days or sunny skies, we've got you covered. Ready? Let's get started. First, meet our contenders. Since 1792, uses sunspots, planetary positions, and a secret formula for its forecasts. It claims about 80% accuracy and is a true piece of American history. Started in 1818, is famous for its dramatic, long-range predictions. Only its editor, Caleb Weatherby, knows the exact formula. Both have loyal fans and a knack for stirring up debate. Despite similar methods, their forecasts often differ wildly. It's like two chefs with the same ingredients making totally different dishes. Why do we care? Because sometimes they're right, and it's fun to compare. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these almanacs are a cherished tradition. Let's see what they predict for this winter. The calls this winter the Great Divide. The country will be split. The East faces a cold, snowy, stormy season. From New England to the Southeast, expect above-average snow and ice. Meanwhile, the West gets a milder, drier winter. Good for sunshine, bad for water supplies. The middle of the country? It's the battleground with wild swings between cold and mild. One week could bring a blizzard, the next a thaw. This divide means planning will be tough, especially in the heartland. Boston may be buried in snow while LA enjoys dry days. The message, be ready for anything, especially if you're in the middle. The Great Divide theme says it all. 2 winters, 1 country. Let's see how the other almanac stacks up. That has a clear message. Brr is the word. They predict a cold winter for almost everyone, not just the East. Arctic air will stretch from the Rockies to the East Coast. The Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast will see harsh cold spells. Even the South could get unusual freezes and frosts. Snow, plenty. Active storm tracks mean above normal snowfall for much of the country. Major coast-to-coast storms could snarl travel in January and February. Unlike its rival, the seas the West is cold and stormy too, with needed rain and snow. So, while the seas are split, it predicts a cold, stormy winter for nearly everyone. Get those wool socks ready. This forecast is all about the chill. Now let's talk holidays. As the holiday season approaches, everyone's thoughts turn to travel plans, family gatherings, and the age-old question, Will this year bring a magical white Christmas, or will winter's fury make getting home a challenge? Across the country, people are checking forecasts, hoping for safe journeys and maybe a little snow to set the festive mood. This year, the expects Thanksgiving travel in the east to be especially tricky, with cold rain, sleet, and even some snow in the mix. Roads could be slick, flights delayed, and travelers should be prepared for anything. Meanwhile, out west, it's a different story. Mild temperatures and dry skies mean an easier time for those heading home. Looking ahead to Christmas, the Northeast, Great Lakes, and Midwest are in for a high chance of snow, setting the stage for classic winter scenes. In contrast, the West and South are likely to see milder, drier conditions, so don't expect much snow if you're spending the holidays there. The is forecasting a stormy, cold Thanksgiving for much of the country. A major storm could sweep through the plains and Great Lakes, bringing blizzard conditions and making travel hazardous. If you're planning to hit the road, keep an eye on the weather and have a backup plan. For Christmas, both almanacs predict a widespread cold snap, especially across the northern two-thirds of the country. This could mean a higher chance of a white Christmas for millions, with snow blanketing neighborhoods and kids waking up to a winter wonderland. But the story doesn't end there. Both almanacs are sounding the alarm about a possible polar vortex disruption in late January. This could unleash a wave of extreme cold with temperatures plunging far below normal and icy winds sweeping across the nation. He is especially vocal about this threat, warning of bone-chilling temperatures that could make even the hardiest winter lovers think twice before heading outside. If the polar vortex does hit, it could bring some of the coldest air we've seen in years. He also expects a brutal cold spell, particularly targeting the east. Residents there should brace for icy mornings, frozen windshields, and the kind of cold that seeps into your bones. If these predictions come true, it could mean dangerous temperatures, power outages, and a real test for the nation's power grids. Families may need to hunker down, stock up on supplies, and prepare for winter's worst. So, whether you're planning a cross-country trip or staying cozy at home, it's wise to be ready for whatever winter has in store. Pack your emergency kits, check your heating systems, and keep an eye on the latest forecasts. As we compare the predictions from both almanacs, let's see where they agree, where they differ, and what it all means for your holiday season. Will this be a tale of two Christmases, or will winter surprise us all? Time for the main event. Where do the almanacs agree and where do they split? Both agree the East is in for a tough, cold, snowy winter. Both hint at a major Arctic outbreak in late January or early February. The big disagreement, the West. The predicts mild and dry, the says cold and stormy. One forecast could mean drought, the other relief. The sea's cold dominating almost everywhere, while the sea's a sharp contrast. Storm tracks differ too. The expects coast-to-coast storms, while the focus is on the east. So, is it a winter of widespread cold or a tale of two Americas? The only certainty, we'll have to wait and see. These differences matter, especially for planning. Let's break it down by region. Coast to coast, here's what you need to know. Let's take a journey across the country and break down what these winter forecasts could mean for you and your community. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, every region faces its own unique set of challenges and opportunities when winter arrives. Whether you're bracing for snow, rain, or a rare warm spell, understanding the outlook can help you plan ahead and stay safe. In the Northeast and New England, both almanacs agree, it's shaping up to be a cold and snowy season. That's great news for ski resorts and winter sports enthusiasts, who can look forward to fresh powder and bustling slopes. But for commuters and city dwellers, it means more mornings spent shoveling driveways, scraping windshields, and navigating slippery roads. Residents should also prepare for higher heating bills, as furnaces work overtime to keep homes warm. Travel delays will be common, with snow and ice causing disruptions to trains, buses, and flights. It's a good time to check your emergency supplies and make sure you're ready for whatever winter throws your way. Moving to the southeast, both forecasts predict a colder and wetter winter than usual. This region, not always accustomed to harsh winter weather, could see damaging ice storms that bring down power lines and make travel treacherous. Heavy rain may also lead to localized flooding in some areas. Homeowners should take steps to protect their pipes from freezing, and farmers will need to keep a close eye on crops vulnerable to frost. Even a brief cold snap can have lasting impacts on agriculture and infrastructure in the south. In the Midwest and Great Plains, the two almanacs diverge. One sees wild temperature swings, with sudden thaws followed by deep freezes, while the other expects a steady pattern of cold and snow throughout the season. This means residents could experience everything from blizzards to unexpected warm-ups, making it hard to predict what each week will bring. For farmers, a good snowpack can help insulate winter crops and provide much-needed moisture for spring planting. However, livestock may be stressed by the cold and fluctuating conditions, so extra care and shelter will be important. Residents should be ready for anything: blizzards, sudden thaws, icy roads, and messy commutes. Keeping an eye on local forecasts and having a flexible plan will be key to getting through the season safely. Out west, the forecast is a true wild card. One almanac predicts a mild and dry winter, which could spell trouble for water supplies and increase the risk of wildfires as reservoirs remain low and vegetation dries out. The other almanac expects a cold and stormy season, bringing heavy snow to the mountains and much-needed relief to drought-stricken areas. A strong snowpack would benefit both water managers and winter sports fans. The stakes are high in the West, especially for those who rely on winter snow for water, recreation, and agriculture. Every storm counts, and the outcome could shape the year ahead. Ultimately, your winter experience will depend on which forecast proves more accurate. Will it be a season of mild days and light jackets, or one of snow boots and shovels? Only time will tell. No matter where you live, now is the time to prepare. Stock up on essentials, review your emergency plans, and stay tuned to local updates. A little preparation can make all the difference when winter weather arrives. So, what's the takeaway? Almanacs are fun, but not guarantees. Use their predictions as a guide, not gospel. If you're in the East, prep for a cold, snowy season. Check insulation, stock emergency kits, and get your car winter ready. In the West, be ready for anything, conserve water, or brace for storms, depending on which forecast pans out. Flexibility is key. Keep an eye on local forecasts as winter approaches. A little preparation now can save a lot of trouble later. These forecasts remind us to respect nature and think ahead. Whether you're planning a ski trip or just want to stay warm, it pays to be ready. Winter connects us all, through challenges and traditions. Stay alert, stay prepared, and you'll weather whatever comes. Let's wrap it up. That's the outlook. Two historic almanacs, two very different forecasts. A divided nation, cold east, mild west. The widespread cold, brr is the word. Both agree. The Northeast is in for a tough winter. As a meteorologist, I know forecasting is never certain. Mother Nature always surprises us. These almanacs are part of a long tradition of trying to predict the unpredictable. Their real value? They get us thinking, talking, and preparing. No matter which you believe, the message is clear: be ready. Winter is beautiful, but it demands respect and preparation. Check your home, your car, and your emergency plans now. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll get through it together.